My name is Justin. This is StoryTime with Cullen. I guess how I started would be through family. All the male figures in my life, like my dad, my uncle, my grandpa, we all were into cars like these. You know, being Asian, you really tend to go to Hondas. I don't know why, it's just natural. My dad had a 93 SI like this. I guess him telling me when it was done that he'll give it to me and then end up selling it kind of fucked me up, kind of like, I guess you greased me, so I got to go get one myself. My grandpa had a shit ton of cars, from 240s to Civics to MR2s. Just a whole bunch of Japanese cars, I guess you could say. The JDM scene. My uncle, he had a couple, early 2000s, he had the EM1s. He had two of them, black and blue. He showed me a lot growing up, how to wrench. My dad, of course. His SI had B18 C5, fully built on a gritty turbo. I think it was about 500, 600 horsepower. So he was pushed easily smacking Corvettes, 911s, anything around like 2003 to 2007, 6. That kind of motivated me to build this. I wanted to go with the modern day time and go with the K, because the B series was kind of the 90s things and the early 2000s, and now that K is out, you might as well go, you know. So I grew up around the West Seattle area, like near White Center, Delridge area. I guess being around West Seattle heads like Frankie and Johnny kind of taught me a lot, you know, through high school, from like 2009 to like 2012, whatever. Those guys taught me a lot how to make a car and make it look nice and simple, and have it not have rep parts, I guess Frankie would say. I guess he would always get on my life about that. I guess those two, and the homie Jose, shout out Jose, they taught me a lot growing up, playing Forza 3, the only game that has EG6. So that's pretty impressive. Shit, what else? I guess I was driving in White Center, passing by Don's shop, you know, seeing all those cars made me want one, you know. Shit, my first car was a 97 fucking Camry. Toyota Camry, 97, yeah. I had like H&R lowering springs, XXRs, fucking 18x8, you know. I had a eBay Accord, O2 Accord lip on a Mugen lip, stunting on the motherfuckers in high school, you know. Always trying to fit in with the Hondas, but you know, no one really respects the Toyotas or the Camrys, because let's face it, they're ugly. I mean, it was a given car, and I made the best of it. But before this, I had a red coupe. This lip was white, and red on white, it just looked crazy. I had the fatty ass diffuser, top one diffuser in the back, off of a 97 Integra. You know, it's a little wider, so it pokes out a little bit. I had some cozies. And that car taught me a lot. First B-Series swap car. I went through 3 motors. Met my friend Uriel. Without him, this car wouldn't be shit. Seriously, this shit's crazy. This guy's really picky with his cars. I mean, I'll tell you, bro. He'll look at my car. If my bumper is a little crooked, this guy will fix it before I even know anything. I'll come outside and like, what are you doing, dude? Like, fucking with my car and shit. Trying to make everything perfect. But he's the one that taught me, like, body line means everything, dude. Like, everything needs to line up. If it's not lined up, it's not right. you're rushing it and you don't want to rush a build. That's something you don't want to do. Yeah, Uriel hooked me up. Shout out to Uriel, bro, because he's the one that swapped everything from the red car, put it on this car, fronted me the wheels, you know what I'm saying? Paid that bitch in a week. Fronted me the wheels, set my ride height, set my alignment, took this car to work, put my alignment on, put the wheels on, put the tires on. I mean, shout out to Uriel, bro.
So, you know, what have you learned through cars? You know, obviously meeting all these people, like all the homies you just mentioned.
What have I learned? Patience is key. Less is more. You know, you don't need to buy certain parts to fit in. You really want to buy what you've always wanted as a kid or always dreamed of. I've always dreamed of owning these wheels, and my friend blessed me with the front, you know. I never thought I would own a set. It's retarded how much these cost, and you really pay that much, but it's worth it at the end, you know. You feel the difference. It's really worth going authentic versus rep. You know, I've had a couple rep wheels and you could really feel the difference.
And then you know, have you always wanted this car?
Yeah, I've always definitely wanted this car because of my dad. Him setting the bar with that EG, I mean, the late night drives to Oregon and back just to see who's on the freeway, that was crazy. To go get it tuned in Oregon and, you know, come back, that was crazy. I mean, just to get it tuned, I mean, my dad was pretty wild. He was down to drive if I was down to go. And he was down to push the car as fast as I wanted it to go. You know, that, and being scared as shit with the turboed car, I mean, fuck. There's nothing like turbo. So that shit was scary as a kid. Fun and scary, I guess you could say. And that was a thrill, you know. Are we gonna get caught? He had the little cop radar, you know, that thing's beeping like crazy. We slow down. After that, we were smashing off. And that's what put me on, really, that scaredness and that thrill, that push. Obviously, this car is the opposite because it's the single cam, but it gets the job done. It's a daily beater. I mean, someone backed into me like a couple of days ago, but I'm not mad because it's gonna get painted. It's a daily beater. I mean, hit it all you want. I go to a grocery store and a kid hits it. I'm like, oh, well, you know, like shit happens. People on Instagram are always like, oh, that's fucked up, but it's just a car. You can get another bumper painted or get this one fixed. It's all what it is.
And then what do you want to do with this car? Are you going to keep it a beater, or do you want to build it like that build that your dad had?
Definitely build what my dad had. Get it repainted, resprayed, throw that motor out, put the K in, and go on a cruise with my dad and break this car, just like how we did with his car. There's nothing more than to see my family see this car go as far as it's gone. This car has been owned in our family. It's gone through my uncle, first my sister, and then my uncle, and then me. We've had it for 10 years. It's originally from Canada. And the face expressions off my sister's face, and you know, my uncle sees it, they're like, holy shit, you know, like this car had mold, it was all molded out. It sat for 3 years, and I've only had it running for like 8 months. I mean, I really pieced everything together through my coupe. Every part that my coupe had, I kind of just threw it on here and sold the coupe bone stock with the B series and traded it for the K, and now we're ready to play.
So you say this car definitely means a lot to you in terms of, you know, going through your family and
Oh, yeah.
taking your hands. And you're never going to sell it, right?
I'd never sell it. I mean, I thought about it. That's the reason why this single has been in here. I mean, Also, so my girl can learn how to drive stick shift. So she's driven this and never stalled out, which is perfect. It's everything you want. But my girl knows how to drive stick shift. You know, I've had my fair share with this single. It's definitely time to go and go into the future. And I wouldn't say go like how everybody goes K, but go because I want to go K. I've always dreamed of going K. I want to move with the modern day time. I don't want to be stuck in the B series, even though there's nothing wrong with the B series. Don't get me wrong, I've had my fair share and fun with those, but I've never driven a K car. So for this to be my first one is going to mean a lot to me, you know? It'll mean a lot to me when my family rides in it and sees the difference between when they had it and driven it till now. It'll be worth it all at the end.
So would you say that, you know, there's a lot of people out here that don't understand why we like old Hondas? Would you say we're stuck in time, as Jeff Diaz says? It's just something
Definitely stuck in time. I mean, I wouldn't change anything on this car, besides obviously like wheel setup, maybe a spoon lip and that, but I mean, that's everything that moves with that era. I mean, I wouldn't change anything. I think they really killed it in the 90s and early 2000s, you know, 2003. That's when it was really like, really popping off, 2001, 2003. What was the question?
So all these kids are, you know, they're rocking their fake shit like it's real shit, you know, with the goal of flexing on other people.
Yeah, like you said, if you like rep parts, own up to it, you know. Don't go to meets trying to flex on everybody and try to justify reps over reels. Like, there's a lot of people on Facebook forums that try to justify reps over reel. Like, it's worth it to buy a fake lip because you're gonna destroy it sooner or later, or buy a rep wheels because if you curb it, you know they're reps. But for me, that's just kind of not how I grew up. I kind of grew up around authenticity, you know, the real parts, spoons, tees, everything. I wasn't a fan of rep, but if you like it, that's you. There's nothing to it. I see the younger generation moving towards that, and it's because they don't want to spend daddy and mommy's money, you know. They want to spend their money, and that's what they can afford. But if you can save up for a year if it takes it to buy a lip, or save up 2 years to buy these wheels, I mean, it's worth it at the end. You meet real people, you know. Would you rock fake Jordans? No. Would you rock a fake Gucci hat? Probably. But that's just how some people roll, you know. They're down with it and they own up to it. That's fine. But that's just not my friends and how we move. And I guess a big influence on this car would be Uriel. How I met him. When I had the coupe, I used to organize these little get-togethers, make a little Facebook post and make it public so everybody could see it. I guess you could say a meet, but it was more like a gathering because not that many people showed up. Fuck you guys. But, you know, I met Uriel through the meets and through Point S, the shop. I guess I could talk about Point S. I think that was the first time I met you, huh? Was Point S?
Yeah. I would come
Okay, so the story with Point S, shout out to Sean, because that was the first motherfucker I really like threw down with, like really raced on MLK. We were fucking racing on MLK, bro. We did it probably like 3-4 times, maybe 5 times in a row, and Uriel shows up at the 5th race, you know, right at the end where I'm all hyped up and juiced. I guess you could say the adrenaline rush. But yeah, I met him through, I guess, the shop, man. And then I created these little gatherings through Facebook, and he pulled up, showed love, real last. Shout out to Uriel. And through him, a lot of people went because they saw him going, so they showed up as well, and that's how I met most of my friends now, besides like Johnny, Frankie, and Don, and all those guys. He showed me cleaning your car comes a fucking long way. This is a daily beater, so I don't clean this shit. When we cruise, it's a Mando, I clean my car that day. If we kick it, I try to hide my car because I know it's dirty, but you know, this guy waxed my bay. He cleaned and waxed my engine bay. I didn't even ask for it. I just said, shit, show me what to buy and I'll clean it. And this guy ends up fucking, take your intake off, I'll fucking clean it, you know? And, all right, fuck, shit, say less. Less work for me. Pay attention to detail. That's what I really learned from Uriel. And that comes a long way, because if your car's sloppy and it looks hella ugly and it's sloppy, I mean, that shows how you carry yourself, shows how your room looks, shows how you dress. I mean, your car is you. This shit looks fly, shit, I'm a fly ass too, you know? I dress to impress and my car is there the same way. I mean, shit. It's a beater, but it look good. They fit tees, but they clean. Shout out Uriel.